Wobbered, Mr. Wobber. Uh-oh. I'm being Mr. Uppity. Look at the hole.
I'm sure he won't. We gave him a swimming one.
How you going, Chris?
Hey! Lily, careful your fingers on that. That's the one.
Yeah, actually, I've been doing that recently.
Because you got some.
You know, I mean, every time we go to a car park,
What is that, Alice? Listen, Anita, it's a selfie stick. Are you ready? Okay, we can get all of us in. Ali leans this way.
Oh, yeah, quite rubbish design.
Yeah, it's good. They are very handy, aren't they? And we can get one at row on the other side with Anita in the background. Bye!
Oh, that went down here.
Watch your camera, actually.
Have your wines out of there. Do a little plate or big plate?
Merry Christmas.
I wish you'd start eating.
Sultanas. Alright, I'll let them. You go for it, Mum. Whatever you like.
Here's Chris.
Chris, hello Chris, Merry Christmas.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, hello.
Where have you been hiding?
Remember this Christmas?
Take a picture. Yeah, don't you, darling? No?
This is a film, not a picture I'm taking.
Oh, a film, right. Oh, a walkie. Video. Oh, righty-o. Okay.
Happy Christmas!
Oh,
Hey Chris, how are you?
good.
Merry Christmas. Do you want me in the two? Alright. Photo bomb around. You're driving.
Ready, Chris? I'm gonna drive. Hang on, smile. Oh, I'm gonna hit you.
Alice, I don't like that design of yours.
I can turn it around.
You've been busy making chairs.
Lost you out? Yeah.
It's my crown.
Did you get a book in the letterbox?
Oh, yes, I did, but it's just diesels.
Oh, it's the wrong train. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm thinking you're leaving everything.
Save room for the truck. Put your feet up. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas, Nettie. Good to see you.
Wasn't that great meeting some people from this book? Its friends and a conquers on its cross trip. Written by Molecule Z. Stevens. Illustrated by Rose Maria Cardona, Pat and Monk Publishers. The little limbs in the cold were so excited. The kids in Pineville Elementary School's second grade class were going on a cross trip to the Safari Zoo. And the little engine that called was going with them. Hello, little engine, the children called as they climbed on board. The little engine colored broom tooted a horn happily. When they arrived at the zoo, the zookeeper Sally came out to meet them. Ready to meet the animals, she asked. The class cheered. They visited the monkey forest. Apes and gorillas numbered round the monkeys of all kinds swung from the tree to another. One naughty monkey swiped their teacher's hat. It's Mr. Beason's hat. Next stop, African Plains, called Sally. The class oohed and awed to see so many wild animals grazing nearby. One tall giraffe even munched on leaves from the tree right above their heads. Suddenly one of the zoo workers drove up to them. "Sadie, I've been looking all over for you," he cried. Reba's baby Lulu wandered away from the herd. She's been missing for hours." Reba was a big grey elephant. Her baby Lulu was only a few days old. Sadie looked worried. Baby Lulu would be frightened to be separated from her herd. She's never been away from her mother before. She might even get hurt. The children gasped. "How are you going to find her?" asked one little boy. Sally looked at the zoo worker. "Max, you take the jeep and search the south side of the park. I'll look for Lulu in the forest. Little Engine, do you think you can help us find her?" The second graders looked at the little engine, holding their breath. "I think I can," the little blue engine answered. Sally nodded. "Good, let's go." With Sally as their guide, the little engine chunked round the grassy field into a thick jungle of trees. "Lulu! Lulu!" the children from the school shouted. They peered through the thick forest, but there was no sign of the baby elephant. After the class had been searching the woods for over an hour, the zoo worker Max came driving up to them in his jeep. "I've searched everywhere else in the park, and I'm sure Lulu's not there," Max told Sally. "She has to be somewhere in this forest." Sally frowned. "That can only mean one thing. Lulu's scared and she's hiding." "We have to think of a way to draw Lulu out," Sally continued. Everyone got quiet, thinking. From way off in the distance came the faint sound of an elephant trumpeting. "Ooh!" That gave the little engine an idea. "I think I know how we can make Lulu come to us," she said excitedly. Everyone watched. The little engine at court took a deep breath, then blew her horn slowly so that the sound came out deep and low. It sounded just like an elephant trumpeting. "Good idea, little engine," Sally cried. "But would it work?" Just then, Lulu came crashing through the trees. It worked. The little engine at court led Lulu out of the forest. The little engine at court blew her horn deep and low, and the baby elephant trumpeted back. "Rrr!" all the way back to the elephant herd. When Lulu saw her mother, she gave one last excited trumpet and bounded over to her. The whole class cheered to see the baby reunited with her mother. "Hooray for little engine!" We knew you could do it, said Mr. Beasley. The little Linton cold blushed, but the teacher wasn't done. He placed a gold star on the little Linton's chest. For a job well done. Little Linton couldn't have been more proud. Five. "100 years of Mr. Men Australia." Episode 9. Mr. Uppity. Mr. Uppity is one of the rudest people in the world, if not the rudest. He was rude to anybody and everybody. So of course in Greendale country, which is where he lived, he had no friends at all, not one. Miserable old Uppity, everyone used to call him. And he certainly looked it. Now, as well as being rude, Mr. Uppity was also rich, very rich. One of the richest people in the world, if not the richest. He had a private train, and he lived in a house where other Mr. Men would stay. And there he lived, all alone, miserable old Uppity. One morning, Mr. Uppity was out walking to catch a small train when he heard a voice. "Hello," said the voice. Mr. Uppity looked. There, who just appeared from beside his staying house, was an equestrico, Twilight. "Aren't you going to say hello to me?" she asked. "Go away," said Mr. Uppity bluntly. "I know who you must be," said Twilight. "You're Mr. Uppity, who's rude to everybody." Sniffed Mr. Uppity bluntly. "Well, I know my friends are wanting to meet you," said Twilight, and walked off. Mr. Uppity's wonders got the better of him, so he followed. "In there," said Twilight, pointing to the two worlds mirror there. "Don't be silly," said Mr. Uppity. "I'm not silly," said Twilight. "Yes, you are," snapped Mr. Uppity. "I don't believe mirrors are something which are like walkthroughs. Mirrors are just mirrors, not what I was about to see." Twilight knew he wouldn't believe this door of where she came from. In a ways of getting him through it, she pushed him in. Bang! Oh! That'll teach him. They came to the second world. What did you do that for? Only to get you believing. They were near her house. And some of her friends came out to meet them. Look who else I found. Another Mr. Man. Oh, yes. We read your book before. Twilight left to find you while we painted you. When you were big and small, Applejack showed him the painting. Her painting was him, big, and Rabbit showed him hers. Her painting was him small. See, that's what you should know. You can't be rude. I do see why. Because that was with your partner self. So now you understand you can't be rude to anyone. So you might have to stop being rude. Or my partner self would indeed shrink you. Stop it and you'll be Crester Goats were right. He would have to stop being rude. In other words, get rid of his bad personality and have a good one. He said goodbye to them, went back through the two worlds mirror to get back to his own world. He remembered what he was supposed to be doing, like get the parcel from the post office. And he thought about some words to use. Please, that's what he would use. He was careful afterwards never to be rude to anyone again. Complete success, girls. He's learned his lesson. Or rather, he remembered his lesson.